Should be yes.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You had a chance to read over the minutes or any additions or corrections?
I didn't have any.
I didn't see any.
I didn't see any.
I'd entertain a motion they approved as presented.
So move.
Second.
Been moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 3-0. Commissioners' reports. Committee reports.
I have none.
I had none.
I had JCAP last Wednesday, I believe it was, and I really feel sorry for those because they don't know what programs are available or how their funding is, and they're lost. So they're just kind of going day by day, but they're going. I think the relationship between Lumberton County and Atchison is much better with Lucas. What's his last name? Lucas is the new head guy, and hopefully things will proceed and get better. That's all I have. Is there any new business before the board? We got to come up 10 minutes because we can't open the bids till 1:15. Do you have any new business, Commissioner Knoll?
Well, this is a good time to discuss the,
Yeah, is that on the agenda?
it's not on the agenda, but we have to approve it today.
Yeah, because it's got to be published Saturday paper.
Okay.
I went over to Jamie and asked her, since Paulina's gone, what she thought of these figures. And she thought everything looked pretty good, but she said if anything that would be short that we would need to put money into, and she says into the other county related. She said since we are starting to pay Corey Scott's wage out of that fund,
Mhm.
which wasn't budgeted, that would, if anything, that department would be short. So she suggested putting some money into that. So I don't know whether we wanted to. I just wanted somebody that's had a focus on the budget, look at it, and that was her suggestion. If we want to rob a couple of those that we had talked about in work session and put 10,000 in there. Here's that was on your desk. I took it over to show her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'd probably better listen to her because she kind of knows what she's talking about, I think.
Sure.
I just, since, we don't see those figures all the time, it's like what department is short. And Pauline had mentioned to me this morning before we came into work session there that probably the single department that would be close would be the treasurer's office. I think they had 16,000 something left.
Yeah, but doesn't she have MBT funds available?
She has
quite a
MBT
bit?
funds as
Yeah,
well.
and
Quite
so
a
she
bit.
said, and she gave that caveat that
Yes,
she
I
said she
think
didn't know how that was divided out. So,
Mhm. Yeah, that's fine. When something says other or miscellaneous, I if there's no explanation or what it relates to, I generally
yeah,
don't think it's very transparent. So I mean, I have no problem putting rededicating it because we've got an increase in revenues, so we need to amend the budget showing an increase in revenues before the end of the year. So however we divvy it up.
and I would definitely like that. I'd like that suggestion, and when you hit that explanation of why
Mm-hmm.
is with that transition. My initial thing going into talk with her is I had a thought at noon whether if there's going to be more training needed, we're going to have with new people coming into offices, if there's some of that money could be dedicated to that. But she said most of that will be 2017 budget, not 16. We're dealing with 2016, and and
Mhm.
this was her suggestion.
Okay.
So where do we?
Looks to me like the 20,000 we had to maintenance would be probably my first choice of taking some out of
Also, I think that
economic development.
the economic development, though, she said we've already over budgeted that, so that's one that probably needs that in there, because there was, I think this year we got, MoCan didn't get paid one year, or got paid enough, and then we paid, so there was some of it doubled up on that.
She suggested we go with the 39.7
Well,
or stay with the 29.7.
she didn't give a suggestion on it,
Oh.
but she did look at that and said that she thought we were already over budgeted some, so that probably should stay. And let's go ahead and you said the maintenance.
What was
Yeah,
your
we can
reason-
take it on maintenance.
What was your reasoning for 20 in maintenance? The doors?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's things that need to be addressed in 2017. So if we carry over and if we transfer the funds from the general account into capital improvement funds, I mean, it all goes into the general fund. It's just whoever had the greatest need, or if something happened between now and the end of the year.
So, what do you think about adding 10 to the maintenance and then giving 10 to the other county related?
That's fine. I think
Yeah.
that'll work.
I think that's
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it might be
Maybe
the
take
make
it-
marks and then hand it to Linda.
okay. We're taking it out of maintenance.
We're taking 10 out of maintenance and putting it other related.
Okay, so that would be two.
But we're still giving them 10 extra.
Yeah. So that'd make that 211, 138, and adding it to.
So Linda, this is amending the 2016 budget. We have additional revenues that are coming in 2016 in the general fund, as well as solid waste, joint communication,
And we're not going to touch solid
noxious
waste.
weed. So just allocating those funds, show them
And-
coming in.
Yeah. And
No additional expenses.
Give this to Pauline. Those are our notes. Since she'll need to publish this week.
This is ready to get to Pauline then? Are you
Yes.
still talking? Okay. This is what you got to do. Okay.
And then this year we scratched that.
Okay.
I also have, we talked about,
So we'll need a motion to approve
Do you-
the amended budget
I'd entertain a motion we approve the amended budget
to be published. Okay.
to be
So moved.
published.
second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 3-0. City
Oh.
county agenda. You have some
Yeah,
things.
Pauline had also asked me if we would come up with some things for the Monday night meeting with the city, just anything that we have for the agenda. So there's a couple things there
Okay,
that we want to talk about, if you want to give them to her.
okay.
Do you want to let Commissioner Shealy? Because I don't think he's seen your paper.
Oh,
What's
well,
your-
it's just, I can say it for the camera, Kansas City Area Development Commission, we approved last week, we were gonna talk about that. Second thing was just economic development, just in
Mhm.
general. And we know that the city is gonna talk about the River Road, or I'm sure that, but anything else, I don't know if the city gives Pauline or she calls them and asks if there's anything specific that the city wants to address or not. So,
Mhm.
Sounds good. Okay, any other new business? Hearing none, seeing none, you want to step forward? And we got like 3 minutes before we can officially open the bids.
well, I've seen the rock trucks are running this morning. What are they doing?
We're hauling that fill material from the FDM transfer station down to Woodson Road to fill all those deep ditches in. They utilize material that's never getting used out there. Fix that roadway down there.
I thought that we just hauled dirt out there to cover the tire monofill.
That's a whole different.
That's different.
Okay, that's different. Okay.
That's strictly dirt. This stuff is concrete. Everything we've dug out of culvert areas goes to that, and it's been stacked for years. So we're gonna try to clean it up a little bit and remove some of the material there to utilize it.
It looks real good. You've seen the picture of the Schwartz pickup. they put riprap that Charlie Purdue give us out of his quarry, which saved us some money. We want to make sure that we thank
Well, we
him.
didn't end up using any.
Oh, you
We
didn't use
couldn't
any?
get Trucks down there, it
I
was too
see.
much of rough terrain, we didn't
Okay.
feel comfortable getting anything down there. So we actually had a stockpile of rock down at the old truck stop on Thompson Road
I see.
that we used to fill the bottom of the ditches, and that's,
Well, it looks good. It looks good what you did. It was needing it.
That's good.
I've seen that the gates to the transfer station out there were open before 8 this morning. Were you guys in there already?
yeah, I told them if they ever leave, they need to shut them, but we have a guy there full-time loading those trucks, so he stays there and watches.
Were you in there yesterday too?
I came, that's, I think when I saw you.
I saw you this morning.
Yeah.
Well, those gates, I'd already been through there once, and those gates were open before 8, and it made me question since it was so early.
Yeah, I have a guy going straight there, John Wilburn, which lives in Effingham, he goes straight there.
Okay,
and
that
he opens
explains,
them.
yeah. I just wanted to make sure, because I know that Stacy said it's violation for those gates to be open and no one present, so I just wanted to make sure that everything was,
Or that there's, will always be somebody there if the gate's open, so.
Okay.
And we've talked about that and make sure that was clear.
okay. Well, sometimes you can give that directive and something's not getting, and I just, since I noticed it, I wanted to bring it up and make sure that you were aware.
Okay, it's 1:15. We can officially open the bids, fuel bids.
First one will be from Jackson Farmer. Let's see. So the first item will be for clear diesel fuel at 30,000 gallons. Jackson Farmer is at $1.99 per gallon. Their dyed diesel fuel is at 25,000 gallons, and that is at $1.73.
$1.73?
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't hear you.
And then the 7,700 gallons of unleaded fuel is at $2.34. And then they also have the winter blend options there. I'm going more off the actual instead of the winter blend since we only utilize winter blend for 3 or 4 months out of the year.
What is their policy then on, I mean, it's just curious for me to know, what do they add some and that it's extra on from Jackson Farmers?
Correct. They have their amount for what the winter blend will cost when we ask for them to start bringing it. So just this month we asked them to start bringing winter blend. So the price will go up for what they bid it at that year. So with Jackson Farmer, the winter blend for the clear fuel is $2.08. The dyed fuel is $1.82.
Okay. I just, so I have a understanding of what it is.
Then we also had the Atchison County Lake put on our bids for them, and they did 150 gallons of the dyed diesel fuel. And that was at $1.73 also.
Same price.
And yeah, they did 1,600 gallons of unleaded for the same price of $2.34.
Is that additional to your 77, or that's in there?
Correct. They had their own portion, so they did the 150 gallons extra on top,
Okay.
plus the 1,600. And then the only other bid we had was from Consumer Oil and Propane Incorporated. I'm reading this right. Their clear diesel fuel is $2.17. Their winter blend is $2.24. Their dyed diesel fuel will be $1.91. And their dyed winter blend will be $1.98. And their unleaded fuel is $2.16. And same thing with County Lake, their prices all match.
Jeff.
I'm not looking at consumers, make sure I know those. We're kind of under read on that.
217. Oh, that's regular. unleaded 217. Is that what you said?
Correct.
Yeah. It's clear dye or clear diesel.
Okay, Seth said the
191.
clear
198.
dyed was 217.
Correct.
Okay, I got that wrong.
Clear
On,
diesel is
Clear is
217.
217.
Dyed $1.91.
Mhm.
Unleaded is 216.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure I read those right.
Yeah.
so they're getting 7 cents a gallon more for their winter.
It's quite a difference in the diesel.
And that's where our gallonage is at too.
Well, do you go with the best price or you go with one bid sheet, everything? Because Jackson's quite a bit cheaper on their diesel all the way through, but then they're 17 cents a gallon on their gas, which there's not a whole lot of 1,600 gallons, but that's probably just.
But
better.
if you put a pencil to it, the gallons, I mean,
Oh, Jackson Farmer's definitely cheaper.
yeah. I mean, probably at the end of the day, it would be the total bill. Let me see.
Yeah, you're saving 18 cents a gallon times 30,000 gallons just on the clear diesel.
And roughly save $8,000 to $9,000 if we went with Jackson Farmers. If I calculated right.
And that is still way with under what you budgeted, correct? I think, didn't you budget 250 for diesel? Or did you took some of that off when we asked you to make some cuts?
Yeah, I'm still under what we budgeted for next year, so.
You mean you're over? Our bids are under what you budgeted, correct? Okay.
So,
I'd entertain a motion that we accept one of the fuel bids.
I'll make a motion to accept Jackson Farmers bid.
Is there a second?
Sorry, I'm just trying to.
Figure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we didn't realize you.
What percentage of your fuel needs is this? What for the year for 17? Like the 30, 25,000, 7,200. What percentage of your fuel needs for 2017 is?
Are you going to need additional fuel besides what you
no,
bid?
this will cover everything. I mean, this will,
With room to spare?
yes.
We're gonna have
A
any
little
left?
bit.
We have any left over?
This year, we're already out of our
You're already out.
contract. But we had a messed up contract last year where we shorted ourselves on the fuel amount, so this is probably gonna come out perfect on what we need.
What happens if you have if you don't use the remaining amount of fuel this year? Does it carry over
in the
into?
contract, it carries over until expended. So when we pay for that, we get that for that price. No matter what, if the prices go up that next year, it still rolls into the 2018 year.
It's like the solid waste that had that big prepaid, and see Stacy is using that now. That was prepaid by her predecessor. It's been on the books for a couple of years.
And I don't think she has 100% of her book. I don't know if solid waste has 100% of their book covered for 2017. I think that they thought that was be a chunk of it, but I think that she said there
Well,
was still
it's
going to be
possible.
some.
Maybe in addition to it.
Should we verify with them to see if she's got 100%? And we could. We want to tack on. Can we tack
Well-
on more?
Is that
I would say.
is that an option? As to, I mean, we bid these gallons. I mean, can we just say, well, now we want?
Well, I had spoke with Stacy, and she
Okay.
didn't want on. I asked her if she wanted me to include her on this, and she said she was still good for
Okay.
yours. So so I was gonna go ahead and include it all in one, and hopefully get us a good price, or a better price. But
Yeah, and I was thinking that, but I didn't even know if that would be an option, and once you bid gallons, if you could,
Well, I don't know if they, in the specs, does it say estimated gallon usage, or is there a variance of so many more
I'm trying to find, I know there's something.
gallons of overage, or?
There's something in here on that. I know there's, me and Pat discussed it.
Okay.
Okay. I believe number 4 might answer some of that.
I remember reading, you passed that around earlier before it was sent out. I remember reading it, but I can't, I know it's in there.
Demand delivery through the end of 18.
Pauline Heat goes.
She keeps calling. Yeah, she keeps calling.
Yeah, I can make a copy.
Where's your first page of this? Thanks.
If I run off and forget, remind me, call me.
What was your budget for 17
Actually,
on fuel?
125,400. So,
Okay.
I'm showing here. I think we did $2 all the way around per gallon is what we were hoping for.
What is the time limit before the first motion dies and we have to ask for another motion? 3 minutes?
I don't know if we necessarily have a time limit on motions to die.
We
I was just
had-
kind of curious. I
We
mean,
had a motion to accept Jackson's Farmers bid. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 3-0. You'll notify Jackson's Farmers.
I will. And then the only other thing I had, with doing that project on Winston Road, we did use all of our 24-inch by 30s and 40-foot culverts. So I would like to get another order placed to get us through this winter. So I have a PO here to order 12 of the 40-footers and 5 more of the 30-footers.
Culverts. Pretty standard size. Is that what? The,
That's the majority of what we use between that and 18-inch
Would these be the same price as a full load, or
of the what?
like a full load, or is this
Yeah,
a full load?
that's a full load.
That's a full load. So you're getting a few extras here.
Yeah, just 2 on the 2 more than 10. Usually I try to keep 10 in stock, but in order to get the price we got was for a full load. So. And we'll use them. I mean, there's never a time we won't use a culvert, so.
I'd entertain a motion, the purchase of 17 tubes in the amount of $10,647 from,
Medical.
I don't see a name.
So, metal culverts.
Oh, Metal Culvert, that's it.
So move.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 3-0. You got sign. You got sign. Jeff's got sign.
Got ahead of myself. How are the new trucks working out?
A few minor issues. First, we get some training on them. The manufacturers came up and gave us some training. They looked over all the items we had problems with and got them all fixed. So as of now, we haven't had any more problems with them. So we're gonna hope that continues.
Mm-hmm.
So looks like we'll have our first pretty good snowstorm coming up next, maybe this Saturday, I think is what I saw. So we'll have them all run on that and we'll see how they work through the snow. So I did run one, that last little flurry we had, or We did some intersection salting and like that, or hillsides and whatnot, just some minor spot salting, and it worked pretty good for that. So I took it out just to run it and see how it works, and it's pretty slick how it works.
Now, when these salt beds, when they come off, do we have a place to suspend them, or what do we?
We need one.
We need one.
Yeah. Well, I was.
We need 3.
We've actually designed one, and that, I believe, was the end of last year. We were talking about designing one. We didn't really have the funds to go out and make the material purchase. We're looking back at it right now to possibly go have another winter project to build at least a set for 3 of the trucks, because right now, if we take them out, we gotta pull the crane truck out, set it up, lift them out, set them on a little stand that sits down. It's not very time efficient on that case. And
Could those be built on skids if they need to be moved down the road? Not
they're
safe.
awfully big to move. I mean, we could, but I don't think we'd have to disassemble them and then move them, which we could do one stall at a time and probably move them safely. But like I said, we are going to look into that again, get some material prices, and possibly build some this year so we can offload some of those trucks and put the tailgates back on and utilize those trucks more. Because once we put the spreaders in, we don't really like taking them out. I had them do it last year a couple times, and it's just a headache undoing and putting them back in. And it's a good hour process to get one truck set up. So if we had that, it'd probably cut it in half, because you can back right in, latch them up, and pull on out and you're
I
done.
would think it'd be safer.
Oh, a
too.
lot safer.
Yeah,
lot safer.
that's what I was wondering, how, on a crane or on
Well,
chains or
all you-
suspended, you've got people around there.
If you go around and look at the states, that's how they do theirs.
Mhm.
They
We looked at theirs, and that's the way we kind of want to do ours. So it's just a matter of getting the material and finding this, really an area for them. We have somewhat of an idea, but.
What do they use then to lift them up? Is there come-alongs, or that wouldn't be strong
Correct.
enough?
It'd be a chain with a.
Chain
some kind of
hoist?
Come
Winch.
along, that would just pop, like they'd lift their beds up, and then you come along them up a little bit farther, and then drop the bed, and you can drive right
Oh,
out.
okay. Yeah, I hadn't thought of using actually.
You know, that's an actual truck to
Yeah.
lift them, so.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's my goal this year, is hopefully get something started on that where come January, February, we can actually offload those salt spreaders. So we'll see if it works out, but I'm hoping we have enough area to actually put them out there, so there's not too much room to expand for salt spreaders without taking up the rest of our parking area. So
Did you make it to look at the server's truck and something else you was going to kill 2
we have
birds?
not made it down there yet. They were actually taken into the paint booth last week. So I told them we'd come down and look at it sometime when they got it, all the rest of the rehab done with it, and take a look at it. So
Where's this at?
You may
this is
explain.
down in around Emporia. Levo is exactly where the company's out of. They had come up and talked to us about some truck hoists for some of our smaller that F450 we got from Noxious Weed. We were gonna put a hoist under it. And when he was up, he said, "Well, I have a service truck. Looks like you guys could use a new one." And they rehabbed this one, and told them we'd be interested here at the first of the year. And they said, "Well, come down and take a look at it, and we'll talk numbers then." And so it's just an option. We're still looking around everywhere for another service truck to purchase next year. But Jeremy had pictures of it before it was rehabbed, and looked like everything on it is what we need. So we'll look at it again as soon as they get out of the paint shop.
Is that fully equipped, or is it stripped down, or is it?
I believe it's going to be equipped with a crane, possibly a air compressor and a welder. I'm not 100% sure, but I know for sure the crane and possibly the compressor.
Just curious how that
So,
would. How
and
it's
that's
set
the
up.
main thing we need, is a crane, and then the compressor welder on one of those. So same option with our sign truck. It would be nice to find some type of truck that could utilize either a boom option or a scissor lift that can extend out to the side of the road. Right now, all they do is get on a ladder in a ditch and try to climb up there and fix signs. So not the most safe item to use, but that's all they have, unless they can back the truck into the ditch and use the tailgate. So if I could find something like Riley County has, it'd be awesome, because they have a scissor lift right behind the cab, and it slides out to either way. So that would be ideal. if we can find one for a decent price, I would look to, or like to look into that next year also if we have some extra machine fund. So, other than that, we're good.
How do we do on Purple Wave?
Still open. It ends Thursday. It's not looking the greatest. Those two trucks are still pretty low, but we'll see what happens towards the end of the week. They usually go up at the end of the week anyways, so we will see. Our small items that went out, they didn't really make too much, but it was mainly just used tires.
Clean up.
and- yeah.
Get cleaned
So
up.
we didn't expect much out of that. So,
Okay,
anything else?
that's all I have.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Perfect timing.
Good,
You're on candid camera.
okay,
You're early, but we're ready for you,
all
dear.
right, well, that works for me. I don't really have a lot to report. We're getting going with all the Vanderbilt projects. We're gonna have a check soon, which you know of, a new one.
I can.
What?
Said you have additional checks?
No, but you have to sign it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So you want to do that today?
Well, whenever, I could have brought it, I just didn't
Yeah.
know if that had gone through yet or not.
I have not. I have not seen anything.
So, no, I just don't know if your signature card.
Oh, I'm
Through.
sure it has, but I'll see if I can
So-
find out.
But
I have not heard.
we need to be sure that goes through so we can get that check
Sure.
reissued.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the Vanderbilt projects are going along well. So, the other thing is that a group of, people inspired by, Dave Rendam have started donating money specifically for carpeting and that sort of thing. So, one of our residents that most recently passed away, they donated all the funds, or all the memorials towards pieces of new carpet, and then, we just got several $1,000s, so we had replaced a piece, and so we're just gonna go around and use that money as far as it will go, and he thinks that more will continue to come in, so. Which is very nice, very generous, so. Yeah.
It's nice.
So, yeah, yeah, very nice.
How was that? You say it was from a resident that had passed, and
Well,
that's
Actually, it began with one of our residents' sons and another resident's nephew. In other words, it's the same person. He has two people there. Saw us replacing pieces of the carpet because we had to do it for something else. And he said, "So, give me the amount that it would take to do the whole building." So we got it bid, and he said, "I think I can make some of this happen." So, just last week, he brought me, some donations that amount to about $6,000. And then, one of the residents that passed said that they would like their money to go to that project as well. So, it puts us close to the 7,000 mark. Doesn't do the whole building, but it will get us a ways, and he thinks we'll continue to go.
okay. Just kind of interested on how that got started.
So, yeah, he just thought that it was something that he would like to see done. He loves it, and his mom loves it, and so he said this is the time of year because people want to do charitable donations and stuff.
Very good.
So he sent out a letter, and on the whole, we were blessed.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. And Dave Rendam was the one who spurred that on. So.
Oh,
So, other than that, I don't have a lot to report. Unless you have anything.
Capacity full.
No, no. Still have several openings. This is assessing 3 people now. So, we'll see. This is when it starts getting cold, that is the time that we see change. But that's sort of industry-wide. Notice everybody's a ways down because we've had unseasonably warm weather. So once it starts getting cold, then the numbers increase.
Mhm.
Sad fact of life.
It is.
Especially
It is.
slick, cold, snowy weather.
Right,
People slips and falls.
right.
And
Yeah, lots of broken hips. Yep.
I don't have anything more.
Mr. Shealy, you have anything?
Nope.
Yep.
I'll find out about
Yeah,
UMB.
make sure
Oh,
you're
yeah,
on
you
the
guys
card
work
number.
together,
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I haven't heard back from him. I assumed that I would have, but
Yeah, you
I
would
hadn't.
think, but I don't know.
Budget wise, did you come out all right? Or
Yeah,
I know Pauline said that she had talked with you.
Yeah, our income is higher than we thought, but so are our expenses. You know, the state upped the bed tax in the middle of the year by 40,000 and a few other things. And of course, when we up our Med A residents, then our expenses on all the therapy side increase.
Hmm.
And so when you increase the number of residents or increase the kind of care they get, then your expenses go up. But we'll be fine. And we will work within our income that she's balancing.
Okay.
We got all through with the examining of it, and we got a good score. I believe you'd
The
mentioned.
survey, yes.
Yes.
Yes, we had a really good survey. So that, yeah, that went very well. The industry average in Kansas is 11 tags or more, and we had 6. So, and some were, in other words, let's see, how do I put this? So one thing that we did wrong became 2 tags, and another thing we did wrong became 2. So that was 4 out of the. So it's really 4 things that we needed to correct. And I quite frankly felt that we needed to correct those 4 things. They found things that were real, which is the norm. At least in Kansas, I've always thought, where did this come from? This time I felt they were fair.
It was legitimate criticism, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would have tagged ourselves on them, so.
Something can be kind of obvious until a different set of eyes looks at it and tells you, and it's like.
Well,
yeah.
the other thing is it's a snapshot.
Mhm.
So if I walk in today, can I find something that's wrong and correct it? Yeah, I can. And they see the same thing. They will take a snapshot. If it's wrong, maybe the only time it was wrong in years, but it truly was wrong. You know, so it
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
it's not a big deal. It's most of them were very manageable things. So.
Sounds good, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
How's your foot? Heard you had a.
it's coming along. I'm off the scooter. So my first full 24 hours of weight bearing, so I'm a little slow.
Is that
on
the one
go.
you had worked on there a couple years ago?
Nope, it's the
other
opposite
one.
one. Same surgery, opposite one.
Mm.
What, 4 years ago or so? Yeah. So,
Be careful.
yeah,
Don't want to re-injure.
nope.
Mm-mm.
I just take it slow. And I am very slow. But it comes along, you know.
Okay. Well, have a good
Okay.
day.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Do we have any old or unfinished business before the board?
Reese Novelli.
Yeah.
Do we have an agreement letter?
We probably haven't heard nothing back.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
There's it says agreement letter for Reese Novelli.
Is it in that folder?
Oh.
Maybe she put all that stuff in the folder. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Just brought you this.
She was going to contact them about moving up the start date. Is that correct?
I believe
End
so.
date. Completion date.
Well, we were wanting to shove that up, the whole thing forward.
I didn't see nothing in there. Do you want to look. I didn't see nothing. Should be a yellow letter.
I'm gonna pull this out because this is the next item on the agenda.
Okay.
Bruce Novelli, I think this is it right here. I haven't read it, what it takes.
Well, this is kind of leaving it wide open. The first paragraph, if the county has everything posted and is ready for the audit in March, I think we can make that work and we should be able to finish in June. Granted, we do not have to wait for information from the county. The dates in our letters are more of our deadlines, not necessarily when we plan to start.
It's not anything too concrete.
No, but I can also see their point. You know, if it's us holding them up, it's hard for them to guarantee that they'll get back to us, but then it's also leaves it kind of wide open. So I can see it both ways.
I would think it would be requested not only by us, but by any other county or entity that's gonna be going through the same thing with the tax lid.
They're only bound by contract, and if the contract says beginning of May and August 31st, 2017, that's the date range. So, I mean, I like to see it in writing, you know, stating their begin date and end date.
So you want to see additional?
I mean, that's either amendment to their letter of engagement or...
You're fine. So we want to wait till Pauline gets back and draft another letter.
They're the ones that draft the letter. I mean, the letter of
I
engagement.
mean, time-wise, timetable.
I think we could send them an email today. Do we have the email address of...
Should be on there somewhere.
Send an email right now. I mean, if we sign it, we're agreeing with this. Is just... I think just something a little more concrete, I think, is what we need.
want a little more information?
I just think it's a little more concrete.
Well, you want to put that back on next week's agenda, or?
Well, if we approve it, there's nothing that bounds them other than the dates they list on here. Just not very concrete. I think, you know, worst case scenario, August 31st it's unacceptable. That's too late. Too late in the year. I mean, you're done with budget by then.
When is the final on that?
It says August 31st, 2017.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't realize that there was an actual cutoff.
Well, do you want to get in touch with them either by email or
Yeah,
call them?
I think we
Come
need
back
to.
next Tuesday and we'll put it back on the
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to put it back on the agenda for next week.
Okay, you want to put that on agenda for next week, Linda, please? And then you're going to contact them either via email
Yeah,
or
I'm copying Pauline on
phone.
it.
Okay, or have Pauline call
Yeah.
her. Okay, next on the agenda is Atchison County Health Clinic. This is where they asked for is this additional or is this additional 12,000 or
We have never contributed to them.
oh
Mm-hmm.
I don't
This
think
is-
there's a price that they are asking for, but those are things that they are doing.
Correct. I think they were just wanting
Oh,
to
they
make us
just-
aware of it.
approximate cost of what they're wanting to do is 12,000. They're not really asking.
Correct.
Did you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of one of your boards you're on. What's your opinion?
No, I'm on the multi-county health board, not this.
Okay.
This is up on Second Street, I believe, federally funded.
Yeah, but don't they kind of do the same thing hand in hand?
Mm-mm.
No.
They are in competition with one another.
I really don't think they're in competition with each other. They're providing services that our multi-county health department
But
does
they
not
all-
do.
They do supply some services that multi-county does
There's
not.
probably some crossover.
But
Correct.
there is crossover.
Correct.
Because that's where I said I had contacted Kristen Watkins and asked her about this agency because I'm not familiar with them. And she said it's basically a federally funded rural health initiative type offering. The multi-county health is mandated that we do fund and keep a county health department. And I guess that's where I'm at. I would, if we were going to spend more money on health, I would rather keep it in-house.
Well, don't we technically not have an operating agreement with them? Didn't we review that earlier this year?
That we want.
We don't have an operating agreement with the multi-county health department. Pat was the one that discovered that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Which needs to be, but we have to maintain a health department because there's not a written agreement. It's
I'm not saying that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying there's no operating agreement currently with our multi-county health department.
right. And it's so with the other two counties that are in the multi-county health, Jackson and Brown, do not have a contract with them either. And that's something that we're looking to have drawn up this year.
I wonder what the surrounding counties are doing. They're just having their one. Or
I think so. There used to be like 5 or 6 counties in that. Now there's only like 3 of us left in the multi-county health department.
I don't.
Brown, Jackson, and Atchison. Donovan, and there was another county that was in Jefferson. Donovan and Jefferson used to be because they're in that northeast Kansas environmental There's additional counties that were in the Northeast Kansas environmental.
In the environmental, but the
Correct.
the health departments, I have not ever heard that there was more counties involved with that.
You check into it. I mean, there's
I,
some
I
guys.
will. I'm not. I'm just saying
Sure.
that I have never heard that. Yeah, the NEKES, yes, because Jefferson actually contracts with us.
Mhm.
Well, I can tell by the conversation we have one against it.
Well, I'm not saying a set amount.
and
I
one
think
for
it's just.
it. And be honest, I don't know. Should we give the other one more money, or do we need to give these some money? I don't know. And number two, where's this money going to come from? Because we didn't budget for it.
Mhm. And we can delay any type of thing until 17, until we get into our 17 budget. I'm fine with it. I think they just want to give us a letter and make us aware. I mean, 65% of their patients are below the poverty guidelines, so
Well, actually, that wouldn't be until 18 because we wouldn't have budgeted money for them in 17 either. Correct? I mean,
sure.
I mean, it makes it difficult when, we've had other agencies that want money to come in not at budgeting time.
So, what do we want to do with this? Just keep it on in the clerk's office?
We keep it on file. I mean, however we want to do it.
I mean, we could reconsider it later, but at this point, we've had, not only requests from the Multnomah Health Department, which we haven't funded them up to what they've requested. We also have, it's a county-owned building that needs lots of repair too. So it's not exactly what the department itself is requesting, but we're gonna need a new roof, we're gonna need flooring and everything that's in that building that's been put off. So I guess what I'm seeing, maybe the whole picture on that, I'm on that board, so that's where my stance is. I guess if we were gonna pony up more money, that's where my bet would be. I have nothing against these people or this agency. So, I mean, if we want to consider it later at budget time, that's fine.
And it's hard to say how many people that this group would get to versus what we're doing now. Would it be quite a few?
I mean, they've got, I don't know who was down there, but they've got physician assistants and nurse practitioners on staff. I think that they're, also a doctor. I don't think you have any of that at the Multi-County Health Department, do we?
When there's no doctor, but
Yeah. They have any nurse practitioners on staff?
they have registered nurse, matter of fact.
Yeah.
Christy Callahan's RN, she signed a Christmas card for us. Not that, but, no, there is no doctor
Mm-hmm.
associated with that.
They also do dental. That's a big piece of that too, Medicaid dental. So, I mean, there's stuff that they're doing.
There's some more stuff in there.
Well, I guess we'll just kind of table that for now then. County counselor is absent. No public comment. Executive session. Do we need executive session on anything? I don't have anything.
I don't have anything.
Any notice of communications? We've got these here. So I guess we'll sign off. You want to look at these? And I'll finish. And then you got these to sign. I'll go through here.
You want to keep that in there too, just to.
Yes.
I got her email address.
Here's a bill for some tires from Extension. They want it taken out, paid out of capital outlay money, amount of $630. Looks like they got the authority to do that, don't they, at that small amount? Or do we have to okay that?
What was that? I was wondering if, was the capital outlay the fund that we wanted them to buy vehicle or something, set aside? Is that what they're asking for, is permission to use that?
Take it. They want it to be paid out of capital outlay money, Extension Council. And I don't know how much money they got left over.
I have no idea. I've used a little bit, like on a computer or something, I think.
Was there
The
much said
main
at
purpose of this was for computers and vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So
Looks like this would be out of their general fund or maintenance. Well, I don't know how many funds they have.
I don't either. Of course, I wouldn't have anything that's up to date here. Sorry. Was there much said at the meeting at the hospital about finances, or?
Oh, yeah, they're going to try to get some grants, and some of the programs that they talked about sounded like good programs, but whether they'll get them started or not, I don't know. And it sounded to me like Live Well, Live Atchison and their programs just go hand in hand.
Well, it sounds to me like a duplication of a lot of that stuff that I've heard. The eating right and the fitness and.
Well, some of the things, with both parents working now, kids are coming to school, and some of the stuff that the teachers are having to teach them should be taught at home, but they're not getting taught at home. The teachers like the ideal, but then they also got to have them pass certain tests, assessment tests, and if they don't get that, and they feel that if they got to teach them these other things first, that it's going to cause problems there. So it was kind of a catch-22. Basically manners and doing the right thing, and a lot of the things should be taught at home.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you think about this? Have somebody get a hold of them and see if they could take it out of some place, because they start dipping every little time they want to get some money for something they did capital outlay. They'll never get that fund built up for what it was intended for.
Mm-hmm.
It's my opinion.
That's fine. You want me to contact them? I can do that.
You may have to, I don't know, Jamie wouldn't have their balance, would she, or would she?
I can probably check with her and see. She should have that. It's in CIC.
At that meeting, they had a lot of problems getting people to run. Those that have been on, their time come up, they just
Extension.
went back on.
Extension.
Yeah. And
Was there any mention of a district?
they talked about it a little bit, and I said, well, you're gonna have one new commissioner, and there's kind of a turmoil down there, but I felt that Ray and Diane dropped the ball. Leavenworth County told them what they wanted, and they didn't fulfill what they was asked for, and so they kind of did it to themselves. Not getting district. So that told me that they were wanting to where they could raise the mill to whatever level. And I understood it as the commissioners through the two counties would have the final say, but it was the board that they would appoint that would have the final say of what their mills could do. And I think that's what caused it to die in Leavenworth County.
I've actually had someone say that you really don't want it to go to a district because the board, then they can raise basically unlimited taxes. I know it wouldn't be through the county, but your board would have the power of taxation.
I think they're capped by the state at 3, but they also have to have an operating plan that they have to submit. That's what they talked about last year. There's that was discussed because there was a 3 mil cap if they would go up to that full extent.
3 mills is quite a bit.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying that it isn't. That's what state statute says, but they said there was an operating plan.
Because Atchison County is what, 250 a mill? Or 150 a mill? 250. Leavenworth County's, their valuation's twice.
I don't think we'd be 250. I don't think we'd be that high, would we?
That's what I was wondering. How do you address that problem with the, if you both had the same mill levy, Leavenworth County would be paying.
Well, if we went up a mill, they'd only go up a half. Whatever it'd be, you'd have to keep the dollar.
Okay,
up.
well, I didn't, that's what.
I do recall that Leavenworth County's valuation, their mills are twice of what we were.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we're 250.
Was that based on so much on population that if they were serving twice as many people, they would be paying twice as much, or was it land mass, or what part of that? There's so many things to iron out. If you created this district, how you would finance them to be equitable between the two counties, where valuation's off, or population's off. I wasn't there when that was discussed. That would just kind of was falling through as I came on the board.
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember how that was?
I think it's more just financial versus the number of the kids or anything like that. They were just looking for ways that they could basically set their own budget.
Right, but I was just wondering how that was addressed. So was it funded equally between two counties? I mean, if Atchison County was going to be taxed to get, $100,000 and Leavenworth County, or was this amount that they were going to get based on population, that they were serving population? So if they got twice as many people, but they were serving that they were going to pay so much per person? How do you make that equitable between two counties if you were starting something up?
The way I took it, there's two counties, but there'd be one district.
Mm-hmm.
The board would say we need X amount of dollars, so we need so many mills. Leavenworth County would say, all right, we'll give 1.5 mills. We would have to give 3 mills because they're twice to equal.
Basically,
I don't recall any mention of number of kids, number of programs, size of county. I don't recall any of that being said.
Okay, there's different ways where it could be funded. Where if you're going to keep it equal, equal according to who?
Yeah, there's an awful lot of districts around the state. I think like 16, or there's quite a few districts, and some of them have small and large counties mixed all in. So it's a trend. It's a trend that's going on.
And I'm not opposed to it. I was just wondering. I was never privy to any of those. That was all hashed out or talked about before I got here. So
Meadowlark District, which is right next door to us, works pretty good. I know I work with some of their agents on some things.
Do they have a similar type thing? Do they have the board that sets
Yeah,
and the commissioners have?
they've never had a problem that I've ever seen. I mean, that's Jefferson, Jackson, and Emaha counties are in the Meadowlark
I do
District.
recall there is a maximum. I was thinking it was 2.5 mills is all they can
I
ask.
thought state said 3, but there is a
Yeah,
max.
There is a max.
There's a maximum
But they can
set.
ask for that every year.
Yeah, they're also subject to. I don't know how often they have staggered elections on that board, but they're subject to voters too. So if they did something way out of whack, they'd be voted out and need change. Yeah, I do know that process. Initially, they're appointed.
Correct.
I think this person, when they were talking about it, was the naysayer said that the people that are willing to serve are always people that are excited about the service, so they are going to be more apt to
Yeah.
appropriate more money because they're the, I hate to say this, bring it up, we'd be more like a school board. People that are usually more willing to serve on a school board are very school oriented and have that bent. You know, to raise taxes for a new school is more their priority than probably people that wouldn't be as inclined to have a new school, aren't involved in the school, so they're not going to get involved with the school board election. You know, if you see what I mean.
Simple words, small taxpayer with children versus a large taxpayer with no children.
Well, a lot of it's just where their personal interests lie, and so when you're excited about an entity or a project, you're willing to donate your time, but you're also more willing to be pro for their budget or whatever that comes up. I'm not running it down. It's just a fact of life. That's how.
Yeah.
If you're highly involved with church, this is it's a great example of it. The people that are very pro church and advocating for it, or the ones that are a lot of times held responsible then for the economic of asking for more money. It's just a fact of life. I mean, it's not pro or con. It's just.
Man, it seems like an awful long ways to haul that debris, dirt, whatever, from Effingham all the way down to
Mm-hmm.
Leavenworth County almost.
Mm-hmm.
Cost, it needs to be gotten rid of probably, but cost effective.
Mm-hmm.
But
I had the same thought.
it just, because I've got property right across the road from I have all the dirt you want. I didn't tell him that till this morning, and the first initial trucks was already on the road because I think I met 3 or 4 of them, but whatever. And I just presumed that he got the rock out of Charlie's quarry, but he said he couldn't get it because getting the trucks in or something. I don't know what. Because I've never been over. You can see it from the road, but I don't know how it is. You got to go through his pasture to get down to it. You may make a note to remind Pauline next Monday and get some kind of sandwiches and drinks to the
I was talking
city
with
county meeting.
her this morning about it. She hasn't ordered them yet, but
But she's on top.
Yes,
Okay,
she's-
she's aware of it. Oh,
yes.
Don't forget it. Okay.
she still had one place that she was going to price out, sandwiches and things. But she hasn't ordered them yet. Do you have any look through these, or are you going to look through this?
I'm just waiting for you to get done. I think that's all we have.
We can sign off. I can flip through the rest of these. just thought it was interesting.
They said 11 more people, but I didn't think we had that many people there last year. That's quite a few people, 147, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just thought that was interesting because it's not something everyday bill that you see.
Well, that
Isn't
comes
it?
out of the safety. They
Mm-hmm. Safety
I
committee.
wouldn't say anything about it. I just, you know,
seen it.
there's just another one. I think that's just to probably rent.
Use the room. Mhm.
Okay, I'm not gonna. I can't go through all this. I'll just-
Do we have any further business for the board? If not, I entertain a motion. We adjourn at 2:17.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved to second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're officially adjourned. You want to get your camera?
Seem to be so many notes.
Is that for us?